Peace world, hope all is well. So today I thought it'd be interesting to talk about astrological planting according to the moon cycles. I have a lot of friends out there who are very into astrology, and since I farm, I figure this is the greatest connection to make. So here we go. So the first thing to consider with this concept is just thinking about what the moon does and what materials of plants are made out of. So kind of like the human body, very similar. Plants are made up of like 75% water, maybe a little more. So when you think about how the moon actually makes ocean tides rise and fall depending on the cycle of the moon, you can kind of understand how the moon would affect not only us, during full moons. They say there's more action going on at night, more crime being done at night because of the full moon and the energy that it gives us, the extra amount of energy that we're not really used to noticing at least. So anyway, when you apply that to plants, it's kind of the same thing. There's energy being moved around because the plant is mostly water-based, and we know that the moon affects all waters on the earth, including the waters inside of us and the waters inside of plants. That being said, there are 4 phases to the moon, 4 quarters. There's the new moon, there's the second quarter, then there's the full moon, and then there's third quarter, and of course back to the new moon. So during those quarters, there are certain things as a farmer or a gardener that you want to take into consideration. I've read some pretty good books on this. Astrological Gardening is a pretty good book to check out. Planetary Planting, and there are updated books out there on Amazon, ebooks, things like that. I'll leave a link, so make sure you click on it just to check it out. So according to my research, the new moon in general is the best time to plant or to transplant things. And if you're not familiar with the word transplant, that just means you've already seeded something, it's about this big, and you want to transplant it into your actual garden. And planting, refers to actually starting it from a seed. Because of the way that the moon pulls on the water, it kind of encourages the seed to actually sprout and to grow upward. Then you have the second phase, which is still good for planting, just not as good as the new moon. But when the full moon comes, the full moon is good for planting root crops or planting perennials or biennials. Those are things that last for more than 1 year, biennial meaning 2, perennial meaning more than 2. So when you're planting those type of plants, so like trees, bushes, things like that don't die after the season, you want to take into consideration the full moon because it encourages root growth, because the water is decreasing and focusing on the root part of the plant and not the leaf and the stem and the fruit part of the plant. So in general, those are the cycles. The second phase and the fourth phase, the second phase and the fourth phase, they're kind of in between the new moon and the full moon. And the week after the full moon is still good for root crops, but it's not as good as when the full moon energy is out there. If you go outside today on this full moon, you can kind of see the light coming down. It's like a different type of sun that these plants are getting just at nighttime. It's very interesting, actually. It's very beautiful. That being said, like with astrology in general, it gets much deeper. So not only does the moon go through these 4 quarters, the moon actually moves through different astrological houses every day, just about every day, every 2 or 3 days actually. So depending on the zodiac sign that the moon is actually in will determine other factors to consider when you're trying to plant a garden. So for instance, if the zodiac sign is in Virgo, that's actually a very good time to plant vines, according to my research. If it's in Libra, it's actually a very good time to plant things that you are going to grow for flower production. If it's in like a water sign like Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, those are like the top 3 signs to start things, to germinate things, to get things actually growing, to seed things. So when it's in like a fire sign, those would be good times to like harvest any fruiting plants, anything that's ready for harvest. Fire and air in general are good times to also take care of any pest problems, any disease problems. These are things that work well in those signs. So it gets much deeper than that. Again, I recommended these books for a reason, and Astrological Gardening is the keyword that you can plug into Google, and you can get all this information generally for free. It might not be as organized as these books, but the information is out there thanks to this internet. So I hope you enjoyed my little spill on Astrological Gardening. I hope you're interested. I don't mind talking about this more. Just keep in mind that I am not a professional astrologer. I take interest in astrology, so I have definitely read and researched about it, but I am not a in-depth professional astrologer. So all these things that I'm giving are general. It would be cool to hear from some astrologers, especially some natural astrologers, and get their insight and intake on what this is. It would be also cool to collab, maybe develop a particular calendar for just growing according to lunar cycles based off of the new knowledge that I've gotten amongst my community of thoroughbred geniuses, which includes you. So anyway, enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. Shout out to Destiny Jahada for the nice accessories. I have my tourmaline and my carnelian, and these things are booming. I love it. I appreciate you. Be blessed. Again, check out the link to Amazon for those books. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there if you like what I'm talking about. There will be a lot more videos just in general about my lifestyle, which is praxis, which includes living basically organically, naturally in an environment where we're basically living first world standards, which is a very interesting concept in itself. So if you're interested, please follow me, subscribe, more to come. Team Praxis. Peace.